What's up, you guys? English Banana 123 here, and today I got a really cool vintage Tamiya kit to show you guys. This is the Tamiya Axia Skyline R32 110 scale that originally came out on March 22nd of 1993. Its original retail price was 15,800 yen, which kinda is pretty much the equivalent to 120 US dollars. And this is model 58120. So this kit is pretty cool. I ended up getting this on eBay for about $150. It shipped from Japan, and it actually showed up within just probably like 4 or 5 days, so it shipped really fast. And it's in pretty good shape. It was listed as parts, and whenever it showed up, sure, you could say it was parts, but all it was really missing was a ESC and a receiver. Everything else was there, and it's in pretty good shape. Some of the stickers are peeling up a little bit, like here. There's a crack right here in the body, but other than that, it is in good shape, which is nice. The wing is still on there, which is nice because that is actually plastic, it's not Lexan. And it's just in really good shape, so I'm going to take the body off and show you guys the chassis. So this chassis is the ta01. The chassis itself first came out on July 30th in 1991. And what's cool about this one is that it's four-wheel drive, so it's got a diff in the rear and a smaller diff in the front, and it's also shaft driven. And this chassis right here, the actual main chassis itself, and even the front and rear gearbox are pretty much the same as the DF01, which they used on a handful of buggies such as the Dirt Thrasher, Manta Ray, and so on, which is really cool. So with this particular one, it's all original. It's got the original shocks, has bushings all the way around. It did have the original Mabuchi 540 motor, which is actually covered in pins and a bearing, but here it is. That is the original motor from the kit that was in there. I ended up taking it out and decided to put in a torque tune motor instead. It is kind of shiny, but I decided to put a brand new torque tune motor in. Figured, it'd be a little bit faster than the stock one, but this is more or less going to be a shelf queen, because this also has bushings all the way around. And I do have the original wheels and tires, but for the running video I threw on these like Advan Racing style 3-spoke wheels that are actually meant for another project car that you'll see in a future video. So I put in one of my Fly Sky receivers. There's still leaves in here because I was driving it earlier. And then it's got a Hobbywing THW 1060 ESC. It's just the standard ESC that actually came with another Tamiya kit, which there will be a future video on. I don't want to spoil it. But I'm only going to run nickel metal packs through here just because I don't want to destroy the spur gear, because that's kind of a common issue with this chassis and even the DF01, is that the spur gear loves to chew itself up for some reason. I don't know why. I wish I could find a metal spur gear to get rid of that issue, but I'm not too worried about it with this one because it is a shelf clean for me. The one issue I actually had was changing the motor. So what happened was the original motor mount actually broke. So what I did was I ended up super gluing it together with some baking soda and super glue, and it's on there. I had to shave down the excess glue and it should work, but luckily I actually have a brand new one of these that's installed in here, so that's fine. This is going to be more or less a spare for another chassis that I have, because I have another one of these that is currently under construction, under work, whatever you want to call it. It's a project chassis, but yeah, the suspension on here is actually pretty good. I don't know if these are oil shocks or not. Probably not. These are probably just old school pogo springs, but nonetheless, it still feels pretty good. I don't know what kind of servo is in here. It doesn't have a label on it, so I don't know if it's a Futaba or whatever. But everything's in really good shape. I figured there would be leaves that fall out, but even the underside of the chassis is super, super clean. Just barely any scratches, only like small surface scratches, probably from being shuffled around on something or sitting on something to keep the wheels off the ground. Which I don't have the wheels here right now, but I do have them, and I will show you guys them. So here are the original wheels. They are just some like wire spoke wheels, kind of similar to like some BBS style rims. They are the OEM ones, and it's got the original tires that are still in good shape. And here's the rest of them. And in the actual box art picture, these rims are supposed to be painted gold on the spokes and then gray on the lip of the rim. But the person that had this before me decided to keep it all white, which kind of looks good. And even these 3-spoke rims that I have on here look really good with the Skyline body. Now, the Skyline body itself actually came out before this kit. The original R32 body itself from Tamiya originally came out in October 16th of 91, and it was under the Nissan Skyline GTR R32 Nismo. And they've actually released quite a handful of different like variations of this body with different racing decals, and this is just one of many. There's a Calsonic version, there's a Advan Racing, I believe there's a Mines version, there's of course this one, and a bunch of others that I can't even list. So it's really cool. It has its original mirrors on here, which is nice. This one on the passenger side kind of just flops around. I think the hole was drilled out too big, or it kind of wore out the hole a bit, so this kind of just flips and flops everywhere. This side is still kind of good, stays straight, but it's not that big of an issue since it's just gonna sit on the shelf and be ran very lightly. So that should about do it on the actual car itself. So let's get to the running footage. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.